the doula role is essential, and we play a big part of that, of that process. And in the end, seeing that baby, so the parents get the joy and we get the joy. But right now, I am more than satisfied and I can't see me doing anything else.
Welcome to the Just a Decision podcast, where we speak to our guests about the decisions they made in life, the good, the bad, the regrets, the decisions they're currently making, and the decisions they're going to make for the future. Subscribe, like, comment on the video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. And remember, we're available on all streaming platforms. Our first guest is my bonus mom. Some people call it a stepmom, Dana Daniels.
Well,
welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, son.
No problem. Thank you for being my first guest.
Yes.
All right, let's do a couple nervous questions. Your favorite color?
Yellow is my favorite color.
Should change it to yellow.
Oh.
What was your dream job as a child?
My dream job as a child was to be acting.
Okay.
On TV.
Okay, and I know you traveled the world. What's your next place you would like to go to?
Greece.
Okay. Is there a particular place in Greece?
No, anywhere in Greece. It
Okay.
just the brightness of Greece, the water, the colors.
Okay.
I want to go to Greece.
Cool. So we're going to be talking about a lot of decisions you made in your life. So what's one of the earliest decisions you think you could remember?
I think one of the earliest decisions, you mean as far as what I want to do in life, or
it could
have been any decision?
It could have been don't have sweets and then you stole that piece of candy, or don't watch TV and you decided to watch TV.
All right. I think one of my earliest decisions is, and I'm always deep, is going to church.
Okay.
All on my own. I was probably like 7, 8 years old. And I just wanted to go on this church van, ride on this church van to this church.
Okay.
And I begged my mom over and over again, and she looked up the church information, and finally she let me go.
Wow.
And that was like one of the best things ever.
So did you walk there, or the van picked you up?
The van picked me up.
So you trusted full strangers?
Yeah, my mom did the research,
Okay.
found out the name of the church and everything. And then she coordinated with my aunt. So then my cousins went. So we all went together, but it was all because of me. I saw this church van,
Wow.
And they just looked happy.
Okay.
And I was like, I want to be on that church van.
What was the name of the church?
Christian Ministries Church in North Camden.
Wow. Are they still around?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
We might have to get that pastor on the podcast if he's still around.
All right. Come on, Pastor. I can't even remember the pastor's name. But
okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember any lessons from going to church that early on that impacted you or resonated with you?
Yeah, just just being a sincere and honest person.
Okay.
And it's okay to forgive people.
Okay.
And just trying to be right in life.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
See, on me, on the other hand, I went to Christian school all my life, and I was forced to go to church. We would have to go once a month, and we would have to sing songs. What was a song?
Sing, son.
No, it wasn't a real song. It was Christian, where I am a C, I am a CH, I am a CHRAS, CIAS. And then it goes faster and faster and faster.
Right.
So my first time in church, it was more forced, but it was cool being around. I guess you say being around peaceful people.
Okay.
Everybody always had good things to say.
Right.
No one was stressed at that time.
Right.
No one had bad things to say.
Right.
So it was good once a week to just be at peace.
I love that.
Then I went to St. Joseph Pro Cathedral as a Catholic school. So that was a transition
Christian
in
to Catholic.
Yeah, like kneeling, standing up. And then I think you came around in my life in freshman year of 8th grade or something like that. So then again, I also went to a Christian school.
Yeah.
So again, most of it was I was guided, and I don't want to say the word forced. It seems negative when you say the word forced.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Maybe it was a good thing.
Okay.
Gave you some direction.
Do you still go to church now?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Where do you go
I
now?
do. My church is the family church.
Okay.
Where is it? Voorhees.
Okay.
Yeah. So my pastor is Ted and Dawn Winsley.
Okay.
So I Haven't been in a minute.
All right.
You know, I've been getting my grind on doing a lot of prenatal and postpartum visits with the job that I do. So, you know, but I do catch it online.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Shout out to the pastors that do it online.
Yay! Yay! And then I also hook up with my dude Ty Tribbett on the Live Church. So I check out him online as well.
Okay. Where's his church out of?
In Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was one of your earliest teenage adolescence. Is there a decision that you ever made that you can recall on?
I think my best friend, I think it was third grade because I went to East Camden Middle School. I don't know if you know about East Camden Middle School. So her and I were best friends. They moved, her and her mom moved to Morristown.
Okay.
And
with an I or E?
With an E.
Okay.
Morristown.
There's the North Jersey I.
Morristown.
Yeah.
Okay. With the E.
Yeah.
And that was one of the best decisions I made to, you know, not only to be her best friend, but to go to her house on weekends. My mom would let me go stay at her house on weekends.
Okay.
So it was like born and raised in Camden, New Jersey, and then going to Morristown on the weekends and in the summer during the week. And it was a totally different vibe from what I was used to, you know, in Camden. You know, my mom didn't let me go nowhere if she couldn't see with me with her eyes.
Okay.
But in Morristown, my best friend, her mom, I mean, we would be going at her friend's house. I mean, it was amazing. My world was opened up to so many greater and better things, you know, because her mom had a really awesome job back then. And we would travel. We would do so many cool things, eating at the Chart House. And I mean, she would buy me some clothes every once in a while. Me and my best friend, we would just go to the beaches. I mean, it was awesome. Okay. That was the life. Yeah. So that was one of my best decisions as a kid. To having Tangier. Her name is Tangier.
Okay.
As my best friend.
All right. Shout out to Tangier.
Yeah.
So it was a whole new world just down the highway.
Oh, come on. Right down the highway.
Yep.
A whole new world.
15 minutes away.
15 minutes
The things
away.
you can experience.
Yes.
Are you still friends with Tangier?
I am.
Okay.
I haven't seen her in a minute, but you know, the most amazing thing about us is that when we don't talk to each other for a while, as soon as we talk back to each other, we drop off from where we left off. So,
awesome.
Tange, I love you, girl.
So now we're going to go into high school.
Ooh.
Is there a decision you could think about in high school?
So I will say this. I went to Camden High School.
Okay.
And I had the best time, but I was also a shy person in high school. I don't know why.
I don't know why you said the word shy.
My
whole life knowing you.
Oh, right.
You make shy. You might make shy people uncomfortable with that.
I know,
you
right?
have.
But I was shy in high school, and I don't know. I can't even tell you why. Like, I sang all my life, but no one would have never known in high school because I didn't really do anything. The only thing that I really did was I was a Pantherette.
Okay.
I was a Pantherette in Camden High. And actually in 1990, our band was chosen to go to London, England, and we danced for Queen Elizabeth.
Wow.
Yep. And
so were you a cheerleader or a dancer? Or
I was a dancer. So there was the cheerleader mode, which I wouldn't have never made it to be a cheerleader. So I was a Pantherette. Okay. Because you know our mascot was a panther. Okay. So we were Pantherettes. So we did a different dance than what the cheerleaders did. You know, we did the cute little dance. So I was a Pantherette. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So yeah.
So was that your first time going out of the country in high school?
Yes.
London, England.
That was out of the country. Yeah. That was, you know, again, I went places with my best friend, you know, the one I mentioned previously, like Tangier. To Jamaica and all that, Tangier, and all that. But to actually go as far as London, England, whole country, you know, it was awesome. It was awesome because, you know, at the time, you know, living in Camden, my mom and them didn't have the money, you know, to get me a passport. I mean, we were doing fundraisers and everything. And my mom was like, I'm going to let you go. I'm sure she was nervous and everything. But this was a chance of a lifetime. And I don't even know how we did it. Raised up all the money, but we did. And I went to London, England.
Was it a competition that they put in for or they saw you guys?
I think Mr. Bates, which was one of the best you know, what do you call it in school? He was a music teacher. The music teacher. He was one of the best. The best ever. And he was like, he had a funky rhythm and, all the teens, he had a way with all the teens. We, with playing all the instruments and he coordinated with the cheerleaders and the Pantherettes.
Okay.
And I think people were looking at us because every game our band was on top. We were like, jamming on the one, right? And I think somehow, we were entered into this competition and I think we won or something like that. And that's how we were able to go to London, England.
Okay.
I think it was something along those lines.
That's
I just
cool.
went to London, England.
Okay.
In 1990. And it was a cool experience. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a big decision in high school. I think that's the biggest 4 years of someone's life. Like to the trajectory of where you're gonna go, because your life can either turn away negative and go left, or you can make the right decisions and go right.
Yeah.
So after when you reached graduation, what was your decisions afterwards? Like what was in terms of did you join the military? Did you go to college?
In the military.
Did you go to college or were you an entrepreneur?
So I will say this. In high school, the class of 1991 is which, my class, we were a group of kids who were really focused on what we want to do in the future.
Okay.
And honestly, I will say this. I think we were the best class, we would always talk together about what we wanted to do in life. Our classes were serious. I mean, we would get into groups and talk about what we wanted to do in the future.
Okay.
And a lot of us, and that was the time when the CHAMP program came out.
Was that through Rowan?
I'm not sure where it was.
They had like a CHAMP Gear Up type of program at Rowan.
Really? I'm not sure who it came from.
Okay.
But the CHAMP program it was a program that allowed students to tour colleges.
Okay.
And so my mom let me and the crew, go out with the CHAMP program. And we went from college to college to college.
Wow.
Right?
Your senior year?
I think, it was between junior and senior. So they were prepping us,
Gotcha.
And the guidance counselors around the time were just amazing there at Camden High. Like they really helped us in deciding on where we needed to go, where we wanted to go. I brought that up because, our class was really intrigued by this. We were like, oh, this is college? What? All I knew about college was, what's the show with Whitley Gilbert and Dwayne Wayne? I can't think of that show.
You know the show?
But, a different world from where you come.
Shout out to Lamar behind the camera.
Yeah, Lamar. Yes, and that's what I knew about college, a different worlds, like and school days. Let's not forget about school days. But all I know is that my class, we were just so interested in what we wanted to do, what was our next step, and so that actually prepared me going to these colleges. And I'm like, wow. I want to go to college.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, well, what do you want to be? Like I said earlier, I wanted to act and all that. But I think in my, in my high school years, I wanted to be a lawyer for some odd reason. I saw a lot of things happening to relatives and on TV and everything. And I was like, I want to defend people. I want people to have a voice. And so in my head, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
So I was like, well, let's go to college. Let me take some criminal justice courses. And, I wind up going to Stockton, Richard Stockton College of New Jersey, Stockton in the house.
Shout out to the Ospreys.
Ospreys. How do you know?
Well, I feel like South Jersey has birds. Like Rowan's Props, and it's like an owl. You got the Ospreys.
Wow.
Maybe it's only two birds. I don't know.
So you're smart.
A little bit. Well, I did a lot of... Well, we'll get to my story about college. Are you finished with? Yeah.
Okay. I went to Stockton.
All right. Yeah. So you were a big impact on my high school decisions of going to college because I knew people that went to college.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot finished.
Ah.
So I was like, do I want to go in there and waste time? And I tried to join the military. I have a heart murmur, so I
remember that.
Denied. I went to MEPS, so it's like where you go to. Do the physicals and stuff. Okay. I went 5 times, try to get cleared, and they red flagged me, black flagged me, whatever. So you were a big impact of going to college.
Thank you.
But not so much where I wanted to go somewhere far.
Right.
So in high school, I did a thing called, it was a college tour it was the Christian Education Coalition for African American Leadership. and they took you to all the HBCUs.
Yeah.
So it was cool doing an experience, but then you start doing the math of out-of-state tuition, and if I wanted to come home during Christmas, it's like, how much is that flight or the train?
Right.
Where Ron was down the highway. If I wanted to catch on the bus, shout out to New Jersey Transit,
right,
I would just come home for the weekend.
I remember that.
We also had a shuttle that it went from the Camden campus to the Glassboro campus, and we live right down the street from the Camden campus, so I could just walk home with my suitcase and book bag. I'm home for the weekend.
Yeah, I remember that. Helping you move in and all that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. Also, the reason I pledged, I had you as a guiding light. We're like, embrace the sucks, but it's going to be cool after you finish. And shout out to Psi Sigma Phi Multicultural Fraternity Incorporated.
Whoa.
And you went to shout out to
Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Oh.
Yeah, 95. Yeah.
Spring 2011. What did you get your degree in?
So, criminal justice, BA in criminal justice.
Okay.
So, I did seek out those criminal justice courses, and I had an amazing team of professors in my subject, and they really set the pathway for me where I was like, I want to be a lawyer.
Okay.
So what happened was I graduated from college, and I really was going to go to like Seton Hall, to go to law school. And I can't remember exactly what happened, but all I know is after I graduated, I saw a posting from an old bank, Core State Bank.
Okay.
I don't even know how I saw the posting.
Are they still around? I'm not familiar with that bank. Oh, okay.
No, it was back in the day in Ewing. They were based out of Ewing and the Trenton area. Okay. And I think the job posting was an investigator for banks. I don't know how I found it, how I saw it, but I was like, oh.
So you went from the South Jersey to North Jersey.
Yeah, well, you know, like still Trenton, not too far, not too deep.
Why am I thinking Seton Hall is all the way up there?
Well, that's where I originally wanted to go, Seton Hall.
Okay.
But I saw this posting about being an investigator for banks at Core State Bank.
Okay.
And again, I don't remember how I saw it, how it came about, and I was like, oh, an investigator for banks. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was so cool. I don't know why. And so I said, let me apply for it.
Okay.
And so I applied for it, and they actually turned me down.
Wow.
Yo, I was like, okay, I know I have no experience, and I know I just graduated from college, And now as I'm talking, I remember how I saw it. I'm remembering. After college, I started working at Core State Bank in their customer service. Okay. That's how it came about. I was working in customer service as a customer service representative, the people you call when you got questions about your account. Okay. And I was only there for a short period of time, and that's where I saw the posting. Gotcha. Bam, there you go. See, I'm getting old, my memory. But and they turned me down. And I was like, no, rejection? No, nobody rejects me. So I was like, they clearly didn't understand my assignment. So I applied again. Okay. And they were like, oh, okay,
She's back.
She's back. And they sent me an email, and they were like, well, we want to interview you. Okay. And it's something about interviews, and it's something about being confident in who you are. I feel like during interviews, or even what we're doing now, you know who you are as a product. And then you also have to understand your assignment, right? And so I was like, I don't even know about the assignment of an investigator for a bank, but I can do anything I put my heart and my mind to. Just give me the goals of it and watch me execute it. And so I went in that interview like, what? And they loved me. They loved my personality. And soon after, they hired me. Okay. And I was like one of the only Black females as an investigator in that area. Yes.
Backtrack to when you say you didn't get the first time. It's going to be like honesty hour.
Yep.
Did you have a good GPA in college?
I did. I had like a B average, B average close to A. I will tell you this. One of my courses, I had to take over, what was it? Intro to Psych. Okay. I don't know what was going on. I got a D in that course. I was like, D for Dana? No.
Mine was elementary statistics. I had to take that twice. But I graduated by the skin of my teeth. Because I wasn't as studious, so I
Yeah.
enjoyed college.
I mean, focus.
Took me 6 years to get a 4-year degree, but we got it.
But you did it. You did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my GPA was pretty good. It wasn't too bad at all.
Okay.
It wasn't that 4.0.
Okay.
But it wasn't shortly, too far from it.
Okay. Do you know why they denied you?
With the core state bank?
Yeah.
I think because of the experience. I didn't
Gotcha.
have any experience
Okay.
at all.
It wasn't
Here I
your
am.
resume.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I really didn't even have a resume. I worked at McDonald's,
Okay.
and then I was, the work study
Okay.
in college.
Okay, gotcha.
So I didn't really have a resume. I didn't
Okay.
really do anything. All I knew is I took all them criminal justice courses. And believe me, I was a law and order watcher. I know what I'm
Okay.
doing. Don't play with me, And so I believe that's why they declined me because of my non-experience. But I guess that my go-getting attitude was,
Okay.
and they were like, well, we just declined you. And here you are,
Again.
Posting again for this
Back
job.
to back.
Let's see what this girl's about,
Okay.
And I was like, listen, all you need to do is say, come on in.
Yeah.
What
What was your work study job?
work study? I worked in the writing center. The writing center, I would help correct people's papers.
Okay.
And then I even had a side thing, doing people's or typing people's papers. They wrote it out
For-
and then I typed it for some cash. Times is hard. I had to make the money how I can,
Okay.
how I could rather. And life was grand, because I'm a good typer,
Okay.
thanks to East Camden Middle, my typing teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
What job did you have after the bank?
After the investigating.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you this, right? So I did the investigating. I was an investigator. I worked in the loss prevention department. So I would
Okay.
interview and interrogate people who stole over $25,000 or more.
Wow.
So I would do internal and external.
Before police or after police? Like, is it a crime or is it like a warning? We're not calling the police yet?
Oh, it's in between, before, and
okay.
after.
Oh, wow.
Because working in loss prevention department, we see the red flags.
Okay.
Like, say, for instance, kiting.
Okay.
Kiting is when you see people writing checks when they know they don't have the money in their account.
Gotcha.
So I would catch them because their accounts would constantly be overdrawn. The checks would return.
Okay.
And by then, at that time, when people would deposit money into the banks, at least, I forget, like 1,000 or so was available to them.
Wow.
Before the check was actually even cleared.
Okay.
So people would take advantage of that.
Gotcha.
And so I would catch them. And then I would also catch tellers who stole money.
Wow.
So that was like pretty deep. And so
Get
it
your heart
became
racing.
interesting. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But come on, like I'm trying to think about this, right? And it's kind of funny now because I am this cool person.
Mm-hmm.
No one would ever think that I'd be doing a job like that
Yeah.
because I'm coming in where people go into an interrogating room and are like, tell me you stole the money. And I go in like, hi, how you doing? Like, here's your account. And I'm seeing that you're in the red. Like, what happened? So
Yeah.
I was this kind, soft person, but I didn't play no games. I knew, again, here's the assignment where I understood my assignment. So after doing that, I think I did that for 7 years.
Wow.
I even brought in one of my college colleagues from college
Okay.
who was also a criminal justice major. I even brought him in, a black guy.
Okay.
Dwayne. Yeah. Woohoo.
We got a
I
lot of
brought
shout
him
outs
in.
today.
Yeah, and he's a Q.
Okay.
So I brought him in because, we took courses and stuff together and I knew they needed someone else. And so I even got him in there. So that was awesome. But then a transition happened, in my life where the singing world came about. And that's where Ty Tribbett came about. And we were, I think at the time, before I joined the group, they won this competition. And next thing you know, we caught the eyes of David Foster, a multimillionaire producer. And he saw our video, who in turn he showed to Faith Hill, the country singer.
Okay.
And she wanted us to sing backup
Wow.
for her. And, I remember Ty Tribbett at the time was like, Dana, you're the only one with a real job in this whole group. And he was like, what you going to do? You going to go with us on tour or are you going to keep your job,
Yeah.
and I was like, let me
Job
see.
security is
And that job was banging. I had my company car, and I was getting at that time I was getting paid like $62,000.
Before or after taxes?
I guess after taxes,
Okay.
So it may have been more.
Yeah.
Now that you brought up the word taxes. And I had a company car.
Wow.
So I bought my first car, a Dodge Avenger, which was fast as I don't know what, who had that booster power. Come on, I'm a fast driver.
Allegedly.
And so I barely even drove my car because I had the company car, a Ford Focus.
Okay.
And anyway, I made the decision to leave that job. And around the time they were laying off people, that's when this big layoff came about. And I worked it out where I could be laid off, because I was leaving anyway.
Yeah.
And I helped save another person's job. They were intentionally wanting to lay off someone else.
Okay.
But when I presented my, case of I'm going singing.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore. They in fact laid me off.
Okay.
I saved another person when they got a job.
Was it Dwayne?
I'm sorry.
Was it Dwayne?
No, it wasn't Dwayne.
Okay.
It was another guy.
Okay.
Dwayne probably, and I think Dwayne still works for the bank, but it's since changed his name to something else. I don't even know.
Okay.
But I believe he still is in that job, and very very high.
Nice.
But yeah, so I wind up leaving, and they laid me off, and I wound up getting a severance package.
Wow.
And I was able to go on tour and still get paid and get paid from touring. So it was awesome. So that's when I switched to the singing field.
Do you feel as though God was in that transition?
For sure. That things don't happen like that.
Okay.
Things don't happen like that. For another person, it would not have happened that way. So sometimes if you're destined to do something, even though you don't know you're destined to do something, it'll happen.
Shout out to God.
Hey, are you with me?
So we're Tide Tribute traveling. Were you traveling the world, or is it local singing?
Traveling the world.
Nice.
We were in Vegas a lot with Faith Hill and then Tim McGraw, and then we sang back up for like Beyonce, Stevie Wonder. A lot of people.
Yeah.
During
that time where my dad met you.
Yeah.
We would listen to that. Is it a Victory CD?
Yes.
I've got. What's that song?
Yes, the Victory. Yeah.
On repeat.
Yes.
On repeat. I was like, when did we start listening to gospel music?
Yes. Jamming on the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
So did you ever stop singing with them? Do you still sing with them? Or?
I actually stopped singing with Tide Tribute and GA when I was pregnant.
Okay.
With your sister, London.
Oh, London?
Yeah, with your
sister. Shout out to Lolo.
That's my girl. Look just like me. Around that time is when I stopped singing, and that's when a transition happened.
Okay. London, step in real quick. Wave to the camera. She's a lot big now.
Totally.
All right. Thanks, London.
Love you, girl.
So after singing, what was next?
So after singing, now, might I add, while I sang for many years for Tide Tribute, I think it was like 13 years, something like that. So in between touring, we would come home with these big breaks, and that's when I, met your dad and all that kind of stuff.
Shout out to the Chinese store on Highland Ave.
Yep, and he stalked me, got married, all that stuff. But in between touring, I needed something to do because remember, I didn't do the investigating job anymore. I didn't do the singing in between. I needed a job. And so someone told me about teaching and that they were hiring preschool teachers.
Okay.
And I was like, teacher? Never wanted to be a teacher in my life.
Wow.
But again, I understand my assignment. And my assignment, when I keep on saying assignment, it reminds me of the word metamorphosis.
Okay.
I could be anything that I want to be.
Okay.
But in all the jobs that I've, been in my life, the one main thing is, communicating with people, and helping people in such a magnificent way. And so when I say I understand my assignment in adding to people. Mm. And so that's how that worked in my life. And so I became this pre-K teacher, went in, bust out the interview. I think it was on, what's the holiday? Thanksgiving. They hired me on the spot.
Wow.
They were like, your personality is crazy. And we could see you being a pre-K teacher. And I said, I only have one requirement. And they were like, what? I said that as long as I can wear my hats and as long as I can wear my high heels, I will be there.
Okay.
And they were like, cool, we can honor that. And
all year
I
round
started teaching.
Heels.
All year round. Icy roads and streets, I'm on it. You know, if I had on flats, that's when I fall. I have never fell in high heels, but I surely have fell in flats. Come on, somebody. You know, I got that job teaching, and my love for kids came about. Teaching kids, so much so where I even developed my own curriculum, teaching the 70 phonograms.
Okay.
So I went outside of the Camden Board of Education and started to understand what kids needed to learn.
Okay.
You know, because around that time they weren't teaching the regular phonograms A, I, A, B, B. You know, C, K, S. They weren't doing all of that, you know, and the curriculum didn't really focus a lot on it. They only focused on the one or two sounds and not all the sounds.
Okay.
And so my love for that grew, and then I taught for many, many years in between there.
So with the phonograms, you said, so it's actions with
Yes,
sounds?
yes. Yep.
Okay.
I developed a whole method of maneuvering so that kids could remember.
Okay.
I like kids love learning when you make it fun.
Okay.
So them doing the maneuvering, like A, and Y is Y, I, E, you know, just giving them all those sounds. They loved it. And it became popular with these kids. I was like, oh, I should have did a kids pop type thing with that. Dang it.
That sounds more fun.
Yeah.
Rather than writing an A and then a straight line on top, or writing a A and the U on top, and then you're like, all right, I'm reading it rather than actions and sounds.
Right. And even with writing it, you remember back when you were learning how to write that you had the lines with the dot in the middle, and then you had to do the up and the down. So mine would be for a lowercase a, circle and a tail. Circle and a tail, you know, and the kids be like, circle and a tail. and you know, it had a rhythm to it, and they remembered it, and they learned how to write. Yo, I was the bomb in teacher. I was the bomb. Yo.
It's like teachers nowadays doing songs incorporating different around the world or countries.
Right.
Gotcha.
Because we learn by memorization first.
Yeah.
You know, and when we understand how we learn, then you understand the formula.
Okay.
Banging formula, you know. So in doing all that, teaching and everything, and to bring us back to what you had originally said, I was pregnant, you know, with London.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I don't know if I'm going ahead of you.
No, you're fine.
But just being pregnant was one of the most magnificent things in my life. You know, I mean, I've seen people pregnant, heard about people being pregnant, heard of their stories, but I didn't experience it for myself until I was pregnant.
Okay.
And it was beyond creation. Like, I don't even have the words. It was just amazing to know that you have a being growing inside you. Now I was just this skinny old stick, and I watched my stomach grow. It was crazy. I was like, dude, where are my intestines going? If this baby's growing, where are my organs going? And that's what started my love of what I do today with birth work, because no one ever answered those questions for me until I kept on drilling people. Where are my intestines going? Like, how does this work? How is this baby growing? Like, and my organs are important. So you mean to tell me they're being shifted? Like, what the heck? You know, and to the point of me eventually birthing London out. And it was like the Lion King. I held London up like the Lion King. It was just amazing. And I looked at her and I counted those 10 fingers and I counted those 10 toes. And I think I warped. I warped into another zone. I don't even know what zone that was, but I was in love.
Yeah.
How can a whole being create something and then deliver it, and now it's in your hand, and you're looking at this being breathing, the eyes blinking, you know, and I'm like, oh, she's mine, oh mine.
That was a wild day. Because I think Dad was at work, and he's like, yo, drive to Elmer, New Jersey. And I'm like, where's Elmer, New Jersey? Like, go down 55. And I was like, Glassboro.
Yeah, because how old were you at the time?
I think I just got my license.
Dang.
Maybe 16, 17, maybe? No. Yeah, because I held London on my graduation, and she was...
Yes.
So I think I was just graduating high school.
Yep, you were.
Or it might have been right after it, summertime or something like that. And I'm just looking at the signs. All right, we got exit 42, 47.
Yeah.
What's my number?
Yo, you remember the exit number. And my birth didn't go the way I wanted it to, which is okay. Because do things in life go the way you want to? Not always, But I did learn from your dad about being in the present moment. I will say that.
Life doesn't happen when you want it to happen. It happens when it's supposed to happen.
Bam.
I think
that's important.
Sense.
That's important, and that's deep all in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, But again, my birth didn't happen the way I wanted it to. I was at a birthing center. I was supposed to, have London so gracefully and peacefully, and I did. Now, here's the key factor. When I found out I was pregnant, I prayed every day, and I just prayed and thank God for allowing me to have this opportunity to carry a whole being.
Yeah.
And I would just quote these scriptures every single day. And here's the funny part. I would ask God for a quick and easy birth. That's the one thing I said, God, let me just have a quick and easy birth. And God is so amazing and so funny all in one that he delivered just what I asked. Wow. I had a quick and easy birth where, I had to deliver, London via the C-section. Okay. And but it was an amazing C-section. And I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that.
Yeah, getting cut open amazing. And saying the word amazing is like,
Right, because here's the thing. And the reason why you had to be called so quick was I was only going in for a regular appointment.
Oh, okay.
And they found that my pressure was very high. Okay. I didn't feel any different, but my pressure would not go down.
When you say high, what number is considered high?
Oh, man. I think my pressure was like the 170,
wow. It's
my
supposed to be 120.
Yeah,
okay.
And my lower number was like ridiculous, and so at the time, again, I didn't feel anything different, but they were telling me this.
Okay.
And they were making me extra nervous, but not too nervous because I had one of the best midwives, Karen Shields, who actually is the one who developed the virtual midwifery center now in Voorhees.
Shout out to Miss Shields.
Yes, I love you, Karen. Woohoo! But she made my whole experience beautiful from day one, from the first day I met her to the time I had London.
Okay.
She loved on me. She cared for me. So she was my midwife and my doula all in one. She wasn't even a doula, but she was my doula all in one.
Okay.
And she's the one who encouraged me to be in the career that I am in now.
Okay. This is going to be a perfect transition.
Come on, somebody.
When you use the term doula and midwife, what is the difference?
All right.
You want to get more into that?
Sure. So a midwife is clinical, which means they do all the medical aspects of the birth process. A doula is not clinical. We are nowhere near medical.
Okay.
Nowhere near medical. We not busting out no scissors, no knives, no scalpels, no suturing, no nothing.
Okay.
We are just there to be a coach to a family in their birth journey. So really, a doula just means a servant to a mom in labor.
Okay.
A servant to a woman in labor.
Okay.
And a midwife is there, again, medically. She does all the cutting and the suturing and delivering the baby. She actually catches the baby, whereas, again, a doula does not.
Okay. And currently you are a
doula.
All right.
I am currently a doula. I have been a doula since the time I started researching it since London was born. Because again, I told you I warped and I was just like, I need to know more. I was hungry for what I experienced and I didn't know I was hungry for it.
Oh, okay.
And I just started doing the research and I immediately went through the process, the certification process, which is not deep at all. I went through an organization called Kappa, where I met one of my best buddies, Crystal Sada, who is a spicy doula and she's been a doula for many, 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 many moons. And I encountered this woman. I needed to encounter her. She gave me the desire to want to do a great work as a doula. Okay. And there I met my business partner, Monica. Love you, Monica, girl. I love you so much. We met at a training my first training to become a doula. And the training was a weekend training.
Okay.
I became a doula in a weekend.
Wow. So wait, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So you probably left Sunday afternoon. So
Sunday around 5.
Wow.
We was out,
So with Miss Shields, did you know about her before London's birth, or did she when did she come into the?
Good. Son, you are banging with these questions, man.
I'm trying. It's just the first episode. We getting there.
Right there.
I got a little cheat sheet right here, but
which you have not looked at
no,
yet.
I haven't.
So you are flowing well.
I appreciate it.
I met Karen Shields through Ty Tribbett and Shantae, his wife, because Shantae actually delivered their second child, Lincoln, through Karen Shields. So I met her, Karen Shields, by way of Shantae. I love you, girl. Love you, sis. Miss you.
God's doing this thing in your life. I just see it.
Look how all this happening.
It's just flowing.
Come on.
Some people don't have this type of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So with so you were a teacher. You became a doula. That process in between, in that transition, were you like scared? Like, what am I doing next?
Oh yeah.
Because how long were you a teacher for?
I was a teacher for many years, like 14 years, something like that.
So that's a big investment into a career to be no more. So how did you feel during that transition?
So I think, again, with that word hungry, I was hungry for something and didn't know what I was hungry for. So I love teaching. And, I taught many, many students, pre-K teacher, whoop, whoop. But there was still some sort of thirst going on that I could not put my hand on, but I didn't know what it was. Mm-hmm. And so when all this doula stuff came about, when I had London, I took that training and it was amazing. Now, the reason why it was amazing, because I experienced it. I experienced it myself. And I don't know about anybody else, but Karen Shields was the best thing for me at that time in my life. Like, she was like everything to me. She was my therapist. She was my midwife. She was my sister. She was everything to me every time I came. And I am a different breed. Everybody likes me, and not to boast about who I am, but I believe that God just put me on earth to be who I am. And I love people. I love people.
Yeah, you do.
And so, right?
Yeah, you do.
And so me and Karen just got so connected so well that she would teach me and didn't even know she was teaching me. Wow. So she was prepping me for my future and didn't even know she was, right? Bam. That was amazing. And so when I became this doula, that thirst was getting crazy because I thought I fulfilled that thirst when I was a teacher. Okay. But I didn't fulfill that thirst because I still was thirsty, gotcha. And so I'm, and hungry. I just wanted more, and after a while, the teaching field was changing. It was changing. And then when my love for dueling came about, I just knew I had to go full force, full throttle. I just wanted to hit the racetracks, just jump in. And I wanted to go from 0 miles per hour to like 120. The love that I had for learning how these babies are born, my point of reference was my experience. Gotcha. So it was awesome. The more I learned about being a doula and the more I had fun with hanging with my newfound business partner, Monica. Mind you, Monica was a part of God's plan too, because Monica and her family moved from, I think, Seattle, Washington, because her husband was in the Navy. Okay, did all that submarine work, and they would travel from place to place. Wow. And so their new place was Jersey. And the only reason why Monica was in that class that I was in when I, became a doula is because she moved to New Jersey and wanted to meet other doulas. Wow. Now, Monica did not need this training. She was already a doula prior to. But something told her to take this training. And here's the thing, this is why God is banging, only to meet me. Wow. Only to meet me. That girl knew just as much information as anybody in that class, But her plan was connected with my plan. Okay. At that moment in time. Shout out to Monica. Come on, Monica. I love you. And we met and we became buddies that weekend. And then it was Friday through Sunday. Monday, Monica had the audacity to call me and say, I don't know what's happening right now, but you are an awesome, cool person. And I want to be your business partner. What do you think about that? What do you think about going in? And I will teach you, I will mentor you with this life of being a doula. And I was like, whoa. I was like, down for it. Wow. Let's go. I said, I'm going to pray on it to make sure for sure. And I prayed on it. And God was like, hey, thumbs up. I was like, thank you, dude. And we immediately became partners. And we became known as the dynamic duo in the South Jersey, in the tri-state area. So South Jersey, North Jersey, Central, Delaware, Philadelphia.
That's a big tri-state.
Yes. I mean, and people were watching us when we didn't even know they were watching us.
Wow.
So no other two doulas were allowed in the birth atmosphere until me and Monica came along.
Wow.
No one ever said anything. Me and her were going into these birth atmospheres with our clients together. And we created such an amazing rhythm, with this doula world. And for her, Monica was able to teach me everything that I knew. Everything that she knew that I knew, and I mean, I got my hands dirty, literally,
Gotcha.
and learning everything that I needed to know as a doula. So my thirst started getting greater, but yet I was still a teacher. Now, the teaching life changed, and I said, God, if this is supposed to be, then show me more so that I know what I'm supposed to do, in this. And I knew my time was drawing nigh in the teaching field, but I didn't know really how. And God just collaborated in such an amazing way. Now, I will tell you this, right? I'm going to tell you this. When I first became a teacher, and how I was hired so quickly, it was amazing. And then when I went to the Board of Education, Camden Board of Education, I met this lady, and I cannot think of her name. I'm so bad I can't think of her name. But she worked in the Human Resource Department.
Okay.
And I remember when she filled out my paperwork or I filled out my paperwork and she, put her stamp of approval on it. And she said, I don't think you're going to be here long. She said, it's something about you, but I don't think you're going to be here long. Now, fast forward 14 years after that, I decided to resign from teaching because here's the key. My doula business flourished. Heartfelt Hands Birth Services. Come on, somebody.
Wow.
Heartfelt Hands Birth Services. Heartfelt.
Yeah.
And I'm a heartfelt person.
Gotcha.
It was perfect.
With life decisions, this is thinking long-term in a career. Right. How many more years did you have to be able to retire?
To
be in somebody's pension.
Many more years.
So it wasn't like you had to do 20 years or 25 years?
Yeah, I had many more years to go because I can't even remember. Now you're talking about math. I can't even remember.
That's a big
I was
investment.
like 30, maybe 40, 40, something like that. And, I would have still had at least many more years because it's not even with teaching. It's not about how many years of your experience that you're teaching. It's more of what's the age of retirement.
Gotcha.
And so I had many more years to go. And I'm still not near it. I'm 51 now. Still not near it. So I would have stumped my purpose had I stayed there. All right? That's a learning thing.
That's just to me personally, it'd be a big fear of just jumping to something fresh and new when I guess your foundation is deep inside something and just to rip it all out and be like, all right, let's start something else and sprout. Yeah. But now you went from like a little tree to maybe a forest, you could say.
Hey, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I never thought about the scary part of that.
Gotcha.
Even though I was already whole grown. I was a whole grown person. With a child. Mm-hmm. And by then I had 2 babies, mashed potatoes. Nash, I love you. Yeah. I did not think about any of that because my focus was straightforward.
Okay.
And sometimes when your focus is straightforward, you can't worry about the sidelines. And I'm reminded of a racehorse. Mm-hmm. When a horse is racing, they put the bridles.
Okay. Oh, the blinder things?
Yeah, on the sides of their eyes. You know why? So they won't have to look left or right. They can only stay focused on that track. And I tell you, I was focused on that track.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll be picking sometimes. Should I go this way? Should I go that way?
I was really focused because and here's the thing. I didn't think of any consequences or anything. I didn't think of it. All I knew is in my heart, it was good and it was right. And I knew I had to keep going. And so in the interim, me and Monica was doing our thing and people was watching us and we didn't know. And shortly maybe 3 years later, we're at this Mothers Coalition event in Philadelphia. And I'm sitting at this table with Carolyn Smith. And I'm like, hey, Miss Carolyn Smith, how you doing? And she's like, hey, baby, what's your name? And I'm like, Dana. And she's like, oh, hi. And me and her started talking. And we was like banging out some conversations, one after the other. And then Monica came over and we just all started talking and talking. And so, we're at this Mothers Coalition, and it's this event where, they honor, folk who are in the birth world, and they talk about changes in the birth world. What can we do to make the birth world better, for birthing families, and so we're sitting at the table and we're just chatting away, eating some good food. And so then they call Miss Carolyn Smith up to the podium.
Wow.
And they were like, at this time, we want to bring up our main person, Miss Carolyn Smith.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, whoa, wow. And, she went up there and she got to the podium and she started talking and she was like, thank you guys for inviting me here. Now, let's talk about my reason for being here and who I am.
Oh, man.
And this woman parted her lips, okay, and said that she is the mother of Will Smith, the actor. Will Smith,
I'm waiting for that drum roll. I'm like, who's Carolyn Smith?
Yeah,
Who's Carolyn
I know.
Smith?
So yeah, she was like, okay, right. And I'm like,
wow.
I was like, wait, what? Will Smith, like, Will
West
Smith, freshman,
born and raised.
Yes. I was like, what? And she's like, doing her spiel and everything was going in slow motion. I was like, oh my, I'm sitting here chatting with Will Smith's mom. Wait, Will Smith's mom in Philly? Like, I actually never, you hear the song and where he was born and raised, but you never think about it. I'm like,
right across the bridge, right across the Ben Franklin.
Right. And I'm thinking he in LA somewhere, and she did her thing. And then afterwards, she came back to the table and sat down. And I was like, looking at her like,
I can't talk to you the same no more.
I was like, no way. I was like, no way.
Wow.
And she said, honey, she took my hand. She said, it's something about you. She said, it's something about your aura. It's something about your words and your passion about birth. And she said, what's the name of your business? I want to know more about your business. So I was like, whoa. And I gave her my business information and all that. And then we left. She gave me her email. She did share information with me. I didn't know what I was going to do with it.
Okay.
And I also met, I can't forget her daughter, Ellen Smith, Will Smith's sister. So she is highly involved in the birth world too. Okay. So Ellen Smith, Carolyn Smith. And so I got Ellen Smith's information, and Ellen Smith, she collaborates with her mom a lot.
Okay.
Then I left, me and Monica left. And then maybe 7 months later, we get a call from Ellen Smith. Wow. The daughter. Mm-hmm. And she's like, hi, can I speak to Dana? This is Ellen Smith. And I was like, Ellen Smith? I just met you way back. She was like, yeah. And I was like, hey, what can I do for you? She said, me and my mom have been watching your business. Wow. She said, we have heard about you and Monica, and you guys do a significant amount of change in our communities. And we want to honor you guys. And I was like, wait, what? Uh-oh. She was like, we want to honor you guys. And we want to award you for all the work that you are doing. So they invited us to an event where they do yearly, and they honor people who make a significant change in the communities. Okay. And so, when
you say communities, what do you mean communities?
So, what kind of work are you doing in the communities, in the birthing communities, in our communities? What kind of work are you doing in your field to add to people? Gotcha. To get them from point A to point Z. And apparently they do this every year. I didn't know about it, didn't even hear about it. I knew about Mothers Coalition, but I didn't know about their stuff that they did. And so to fast forward to that event, me and Monica was dialed up. We were sharp, okay? Just sharp, And we were honored with an Eagles player, and I think and 2 other people in the community. And they gave us a check. I mean, to add to our business. Cha-ching. Yeah, cha-ching. We went to her house for an event. Oh, wow. We went to Carolyn Smith's house. And it was absolutely amazing. I didn't even know she lived in Pennsylvania. Oh, okay. Wow. I know the song. Yeah, but I didn't know she lived in Pennsylvania, And so we were honored, Someone was peeking at us, and we didn't even know, And and I said all that to say, that when you understand your assignment, you're going to be doing your great work, and people are going to be looking at you when you're not even going to know that they're looking at you, and they're going to be bringing up your good works, and that's what happened. And, and fast forwarding to all the many works that I have done as a doula, my thirst and hunger is being fulfilled. I wish that I could have become a doula beforehand, but I could not have become a doula beforehand because I had to experience the birth process first to really do the great work that I do today. And I love it. I love being a part of a birth experience. And even, I
don't know if you say don't jinx me yet, Dana. I know you're going to be my doula.
No, I sure am. But here's the thing. I am a doula and have been in like 14 years deep and have done 1,340 something births.
But we got to emphasize a little more. We need, what's that number again?
1,340 something. It might be 50 something now. Because, I kind of don't keep count as much anymore.
That's a lot of...
But many of that has been attributed to Monica and I going into births together and then me going. I have never stopped. And I love, love, love the work. I love the work that I do. All of that, all the work that I've done in my life, I was satisfied. But right now, I am more than satisfied. And I can't see me doing anything else. Now, I'm currently in school to be a midwife.
Okay. Nice.
So I decided,
I think you have a thirst for education. Right next to parallel with working with babies.
Right.
Or you say kids too, because you're a teacher.
Yeah.
Teaching pre-K.
Yeah, I do that. And I still tutor on the side, do everything. Got to get my grind on. But I love all of that, and so I decided to take it to the next level. I love doing home births. Okay. Love, love, love doing home births. I love doing hospital births too, but it's something different in doing a home birth. It's a whole nother vibe, and also I want to say I'm a musician at heart. Now, do I know how to play an instrument? I do got some. You saw my guitars.
Yeah, guitars.
I love collecting them.
They might have a little bit of dust.
Yeah, just a little bit. But as long as I can do one note, hallelujah, I'm a musician. Singing, and that's what that's why I say I'm a musician, because I love singing. Gotcha. But in life, even in life, we learn with formulas. Like math, you got to develop a love for math. And there's a formula in math. In being a musician, there's a formula in being a musician. In being a birth worker, there is a formula. Being a birthing mama, there's a formula. And I understand the formula. When a mom is in labor, the great Penny Simpkins, who just recently passed away, I studied her work as a doula. Okay. And she says that when a woman goes into labor naturally, they have three things. They have a relaxation, a rhythm, and a ritual. And I said, wow.
R's.
The 3 R's. That's what it's
break
called.
it down one more time for the camera.
The relaxation, a rhythm, and a ritual. All the 3 R's. And
what was the name of the person that came up with
Penny Simpkins.
Okay.
And if you are a doula and a birth worker and you do not know about Penny Simpkins, shame on you. Shame on you. Her work was great. Is and was great.
Yeah.
Wasn't is. Is and was, wasn't is. Her work is great. And when I read about her, I understood what she was talking about. Because even like when we listen to music, there's a rhythm to it. And we're moving and we got that funky beat.
I got the best rhythm. Maybe bachata.
You do, son. You do,
1, 2, 1, 2, pop.
All right. Hey, 1, 2, 1, 2, pop. I just imagine you doing that, right? But I learned to see that. And I understand that when I'm in a birth. I sort of like when Beyonce says that when she's on stage, she goes into that Sasha mode. I feel like I go into Sasha mode when I'm at a birth. Because nothing else matters than to focus on that family about to birth being. And again, I always put my feet in someone else's shoes from when I experienced my birth experience. And London and Nash's birth was different. There's no births that are the same. No two births that are the same. They may have little similarities, but it's not in totality the same. And so my goal as a doula and soon to be midwife is to honor that relaxation, that rhythm, and that ritual. And I feel like people are drawn to me because of my personality. Now, I will tell you this. My website has not been up for many moons now.
Okay.
But yet, I still am fed.
What's that website?
Wait, the website that's not up yet?
Yeah, hey.
Come on.
Hey.
Heartfelt Hands Birth Services.
You want to spell it for the people that
Heartfelt Hands Birth Services. .com.
Okay.
.com. But it will be up, so don't you try looking it up now. But I actually, when my website stopped, it didn't change my pathway.
Okay.
Didn't change my pathway. So I constantly get births. Constantly.
Through word of mouth?
Through word of mouth. And here's the key. When you understand your assignment, you know how to work your business. I go to OB providers' offices. And when I go to the hospitals, I bear gifts. I bear pens for the nurses. I bear kind bars. Because, nurses are always on the go and they rarely get their breaks, And this stemmed way back when me and Monica used to come with baskets, coming in like Little Red Riding Hood, with baskets for everybody. And when you treat people with favor, they show you favor and they give you favor. And so it has never stopped for me. I constantly get births. So I do billionaire clients. I do doctors. I do lawyers.
She said billionaire with a B, not an M.
I do millionaire. I do, high class, middle class, low class. Anybody who where there's a belly, I'm there if they allow me to. If they allow me to, and I have never experienced a dry patch.
Okay.
And I'm very blessed. Really never experienced a dry patch. I'm always getting clients. And constantly I get calls. Okay. And people hire me over the phone.
Wow.
They hire me over the phone. I don't even do
FaceTime or Zoom. I gotta see what you look like.
You know what? People don't even do that. And then they see me and they're like, yo, your hair is like awesome. And they're looking at me like, I don't know. Let me see what this girl's about. But my words, my action, when I'm coming in.
And then they look like, what's that movie, Nanny McPhee?
What?
You ever seen that movie, Nanny McPhee?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Where she's the best caretaker ever, but she got like a wart here and then the hair at the wart.
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, but it's just a disguise. So she teaches kids lessons. Sort of like a newer version of Mary Poppins.
Whoa.
She teaches the kids lessons and then turns back into how you should look at somebody for the things they do rather than how they look.
Never heard of that. Wow,
movie.
I gotta look it up.
Mammy McPhee, something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up. Yeah, but my flow is really deep. And again, right now I do per diem work for Atlantic Care Hospital, where I work for a program called Safe Beginnings.
Okay.
And we work with moms there, families there, where we meet them where they are. So I do work for them as well. And then I work for my business, Heartfelt Hands Birth Services. And I collaborate with a lot of other doulas doing overnight care. So I am also an overnight postpartum doula. So I do the birth. I'm a certified labor doula. I'm a postpartum doula. I'm a full spectrum doula.
So there's more than just being a doula.
Oh, there's more to being a doula.
Wow.
I also do placenta encapsulation.
What?
So placenta encapsulation.
So the placenta.
The placenta.
So you dehydrate it, put it in a pill.
Yeah. Come on, look at you knowing about that.
I'm a YouTube fanatic. I watch things on YouTube. Sometimes I watch things where I'm like, I don't know if I can watch that.
You can come join me on.
I don't know about that. It's call it steak, and it's not really steak. Wait, so
it does look kind of neat afterwards.
Just a fun fact question: can anybody take that pill, or is it just
particularly for moms?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
and I do get that question often.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm going to do more research in that because I don't see how it could benefit someone else other than the mom.
Gotcha.
And that could be, I can do more research on that.
But yes. Some doula questions. Most of these you already answered.
Woohoo.
Oh, here's a good one. Can you describe a particular memorable birth out of the 1,000 that you've done that sticks out?
Yes, I can. One of the births, and I'm going to mention her name because I love her so much,
okay.
Danielle.
All right.
Danielle is my baby. I actually did her first birth. I did Lauren, and then I did Hannah.
Okay.
Right? Lauren's birth was totally different than Hannah's. Danielle's goal was to have a natural birth, and so we started out at the hospital, which was virtual hospital, and she had an amazing birth. she had that relaxation, she had that rhythm, and she had that ritual. But it wasn't what she fully wanted. Then the next birth was Hannah, and it was completely a birthing center birth where she had no access to no medications, no nothing.
Wow.
And her body flowed so peacefully, you know, from the beginning of those contractions to the end of her pushing her baby out. And the reason why I say that her birth was memorable, because we were all one. You know, and when I say that, I mean her in the birthing process, me understanding my assignment, dad understanding his assignment, and we all collaborated as a team. The teamwork makes the dream work. And we got her from step A to step B, all the way to step Z, you know, in birthing this baby. And again, the reason why it's so memorable is because I'm now envisioning her eyes, her face, when she pushed that baby out in the birthing tub, and it went so fast that she was just holding her baby Hannah up, and she just looked up at me, and I actually have it on film.
Wow.
Where she said, I did it. I did it. I did it. I said, you did it, Danielle. You're holding your baby Hannah right now. And she said, unmedicated. I did it. I said, you did it, baby. You know, and that was the joy. That is, words can't even explain the joy. It was almost having London again.
That's awesome.
You know, so that's why it was so memorable to me, because she understood her assignment in that birthing atmosphere.
So you said something about the postpartum. So the question is, how do you help families prepare for the postpartum period?
So in order to help a family, particularly first-time parents, in the postpartum period, I give them a lot of knowledge on gathering up a team, people who can help you when you come home. So a lot of times in other countries, after mom has her baby, you know what happens? She goes to her village, her hut, or wherever she is, and the whole team of women come in. And they don't even focus on the baby. They focus on the mom's care, you know, because if you think about it, we women, we have a whole baby, then we have to deliver a whole placenta. And then our body has to go back into formation eventually. And so a mom's birth journey is deep. So her body needs to heal at least like 6 weeks. Okay. We here in the United States, we can't even completely honor that because moms are thinking about when they have to go back to work.
Wow.
And so I try to prepare my postpartum moms in how you can prepare while you're still pregnant and preparing the nursery, getting all the things that you need, getting your team together as far as people, maybe even cooking some meals and freezing them for you.
Yeah, a couple of my friends did the meal train, I think.
Yep, the meal train. Yeah. There are doulas who do meal trains, people, and not even doulas, some people who cook, who love to cook, and who provide services on doing meal trains. And then also preparing them on techniques, you know, learning about the 5 S's, swaying the baby, you know, trying to put the baby to sleep at night.
Gotta break this down. The 5 S's.
Oh man, don't have me breaking down the 5 S's. I'm not gonna remember all 5 of those S's. But it's like soothing and swaying the baby and shushing the baby and swaddling the baby. And there's one more S. I can't think of that one more S. But you know, it's just a process where rhythm actually can put a baby to sleep. The same as a mom in rhythm is swaying before she pushes that baby out. So everything is a life cycle. It's so crazy how our lives work.
Taking mental notes.
Come on, somebody. Yeah, and I'll be there with you, son. So don't worry about it.
I'm sure you will.
Okay. Yes. So I prepare them and help them for the process of having their baby. A lot of moms, they don't get a lot of sleep. Moms and dads. Sometimes they do shifts. Now, moms can get their appropriate time off of work, but sometimes dads don't get as long as moms do. Nowadays, it's looking pretty bright for dads where they are getting, you know, a good allotted time. So I find now that dads are coming in getting at least like their 6 weeks off and 12 weeks off to be able to help the mom.
Yeah, my job, you don't have to do it all in one. You could break it up.
Yes, and you can break it up. Yeah, you can break it up. That's good to know. Look at you knowing that in advance.
I like to learn. I'm like a sponge.
But I love it.
So I try to think ahead.
And I like that. You always have been.
Yeah.
But I like to prepare my moms for the process of the afterwards with breastfeeding, with nights sleeping with the baby, and all that type of stuff, to prepare the way.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thanks for breaking all this down.
I'm trying.
So you spoke about how you have different clients from billionaires all the way to, I guess Atlantic City's not, as you say, it's inner city.
Yeah.
So the question is, can you discuss the importance of cultural sensitivity in birthing process?
I mean, when you say cultural, here's the key. I do births in different cultures. I do Indian births, Jewish births.
Okay.
Culturally, it does work differently.
Okay.
In the birth atmosphere, honoring what the Indian culture does, honoring what the Jewish culture does, and honoring what just an average American culture would do.
So can you elaborate more on how do you approach working with families from diverse backgrounds with a mix of, can you discuss the importance of cultural sensitivity in your work?
Being a doula is sort of like, I think I approach my clients and their ways and their views just as a doctor would or a nurse would coming into the hospital atmosphere, no matter what culture you are in, background or anything. We are there to provide a service for you.
Okay.
And that being said, when I get, a client in their diverse background, one of the things I like to alleviate right in the beginning, in that first meeting, is what's your desire in your birth journey? What's your birth plan? And so that way, if there's anything that they want to do culturally or anything like that within that birth realm, then that's when we discuss it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm coming in and I'm doing what I do well.
Okay.
I've learned in my journey in being a birth worker is that it's not about my birth philosophy. It's about my client's birth philosophy. So I've had my chance and I've had my 2 babies. I had my London. I had my Nash. I had it my way. So now my job is to just be an icing for my clients in their way. So if they have specific things that they want to suffice in that birth journey, that's what we'll do.
Okay.
Because I'm not aware of everybody's cultural needs and, and what they really want and don't want until it's presented.
Okay.
So if that answers your question, because each birth is different, but I do know that when a mom is in labor, that uncomfortability is the same.
Yeah.
And so whatever she needs at that moment in time, I give it to her.
Okay.
So
if anybody needs further elaboration or questions, comment below and tag, what's your Instagram, Mom?
My Instagram is Dana, Dania, doula, Doula.
Any questions, comment and follow, all that good stuff. I guess we could transition. So we talked about the cultural, I don't know how to word it, the socioeconomic. So let's say one wants a doula. Do they need a lot of money to have this person that's going to be a part of their birthing process? Or is how can someone get one?
You will get what you need.
Okay.
You will get what you want. A lot of times, our focus need to be on what is valuable to the situation at hand. So in saying that, a lot of times if I find that people can't afford me as a doula, what I recommend is adding it to your baby shower list, your registry. When you understand that doulas make your birth 95% better, 95% better. And the only reason why we make it better is because when I'm going to see my clients at their home, we're talking about their birth plans. I'm learning every nook and cranny about them so that when we are in that birth atmosphere, I know what they want. And here's the key. Any doula, any birth worker should always teach their clients about the BRAIN acronym.
Okay.
The BRAIN acronym is simply B. What are the benefits of what they're telling you? What can is there anything that we can do different? Like, why do you want to do this? For instance, if a client, if a provider is asking to break the mom's water, what are the necessities of that? What are the benefits of breaking that water? What are the risks of breaking that water?
Is that the R?
Yep.
Okay.
And what are the alternatives? What other ways can we handle this instead of breaking the water? And why is that even important to do now? And what does your intuition say about everything that the OB has provided to you? Right.
Mm.
And the end is you do nothing at all. You stop and you say, now here's the key. If the OB is running in to the room while you're birthing, then and 20 people are following him, that's an emergency. So you really don't have time to think.
Okay.
But if the OB is coming in, dwindling his fingers, and just scooting in, then you have time to think about the BRAIN acronym and asking those questions that you need to ask them, as I just went through with the BRAIN acronym. And then also after that, you can always say to the OB, thank you so much for that information. I'm going to talk to my team and then we'll get back to you.
Okay. Can you break down with the acronym for BRAIN again?
BRAIN. What are the benefits of the situation? What are the risks of that situation? Are there any alternatives? What does your intuition say about that, or you do nothing at all?
I like that.
And when I learned that way back in 2014, that is how I guide my life.
Okay.
Because it doesn't just pertain to birthing, it pertains to life. And that's anything that anybody asks you. What are the benefits, dude, of what you want me to do? It could be in anything in life. Even buying a new car. What are the benefits of buying this vehicle?
Yeah.
What are the risks? Tell me, what are the negative things about this vehicle? Do tell it all, because I'm about to spread my cash to you. All right. So it works in any different avenue. So.
Cool. So I like how you said a doula is adding to your team.
Yeah.
So the question would be, what advice would you give to expectant families in choosing a doula?
So to bring you back to what I said earlier, my number one goal is to not come in putting my ideas and ways onto my clients. Again, I've had my birth journeys. Now this is your birth journey. So anytime that they tell me what they want, I just elaborate on it and figure out how we can make that possible. And here's the key. We are always going to be in the present moment. There's no greater time than me and you sitting here right now on this podcast. No greater time in us shedding and spreading all this good information. And I try to keep my clients in the present moment. When a mom is laboring and she goes through those contractions, I like to call them surges because contractions is so hardcore.
Yeah.
When she goes through those
What was it, surges? Okay.
Surges. Yeah. When she goes through those surges, we know that more is going to come, but I don't want her thinking about them. After she executes that surge, I want her to then close her eyes. And I want her to just focus on resting. I don't want, and how can you focus on resting? Being in the present moment. Yes, we know that more surges are going to come about. You can't turn back around because this baby has to come out now, But when I find that when I have my clients focus on the present moment, the the labor process goes so much better because I'm letting them know, yeah, you did it. You got through that surge. Now, what I want you to do is close your eyes and think about how this baby's going to look. And if that puts you in a deep sleep at this moment in time, baby, close them eyes and go to sleep. All right? Because in due time, you'll be holding your pride, your joy, your reward. Being in the present moment is the best moment.
I love that. How do you see the role of doulas evolving in the future?
I see that we are doing a great work. Right now, there's a lot of doulas coming about, but being a doula is work because here is the thing. Unlike a provider and a midwife, we are there from beginning to end. We are there on those prenatal visits. We are there on those postpartum visits. We are there for the birth. And we are there from the first moment they call us and they get that surge and they're like, oh, Dana, I need you here. Can you come with me now? So we're there from that beginning of time to the end. On call, baby. Once that first surge comes and we see the duration of those surges thereafter, then, I know when I need to be there and collaborating with my client.
Cool.
So yeah, the doula role is essential, and we play a big part of that, of that process and in the end, seeing that baby. So the parents get the joy and we get the joy, because we've helped, another family through their amazing birth journey.
Can't wait to experience that that day. So I thank you, Mom, for being on here. I guess, how can someone contact you if they want you to be their doula?
Sure, they can go through my Instagram, Dania doula, Dania doula, or they can hit me up via my email.
Okay.
If they can't, since my website is under construction. Thank you very much. But my email is Heartfelt Hands Birth Services @gmail.com. There are always ways that we can make it happen.
I like that.
Because the ultimate goal is for you to have an amazing birth journey and birth experience. So there are many ways that we can make it happen. And I do want to add that doulas, again, we are essential. We've been around for many, many moons. There's nothing new under the sun. It's just now that when Medicaid and everybody else hears about these doulas, they're pressing doulas. We are here. We are here, and we've been here. And I've been here for quite some time. I'm a popular doula. I do births. I travel and do births as well.
Okay.
If I didn't say that earlier, I do births in New York. I go to, I have a client that I have in North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
I've done births in Montana. I do births any and all places. So if you need a doula, I'm there. And if I can't suffice you, I will send you to one of my other amazing doulas. There's a lot of us out there. And so, in that birth journey, decide to have a doula. It's essential.
I like that word, decide.
Yeah. Decide. I like that.
Yep. And who knows, maybe the Just the Decision podcast will have to sponsor a whole process to be part of that.
I love it.
Amazing journey of bringing a baby into this world.
I love it. I'm
Again,
here for you.
Thank you very much.
Woo.
I hope you guys gained a lot of information from this. Again, follow, comment, subscribe to get information from Dana. Thank you.
Thank you.